Good morning. Welcome to Ayubowan Sri Lanka. There are certain industries in Sri Lanka which go back to maybe 100 years, like the tea and rubber. Since the introduction of the open economy, many new industries were established. Up until about 2 decades ago maybe, nobody talked much about the ceramic industry. In relatively a short period, this industry has come a long way. Another industry that joined hands with the ceramic industry is the porcelain industry. Now, the ceramic industry and porcelain industry, both industries are doing extremely well in Sri Lanka today. In Ayubowan Sri Lanka this morning, we'll be talking about these two industries and our business relations with Italy. With me in the studio is Mr. Ranjit Jayewardene, the Managing Director of Ranmal International Private Limited. Ranjit, good morning, and it's good to have you on Ayubowan Sri Lanka.
Thank you.
Tell me, I have a lot to talk to you about, but going back to your childhood, where you were born and where you grew up, your education, tell us very briefly.
Yeah, I was, to be very honest, I was born in Galle, but had my early education in Colombo. I was educated at Kiri College right throughout. I was there as a hosteler. And during my school days, I had very happy memories. Did well in sports. I played for the cricket teams and took part in boxing and football. And I captained almost all the cricket junior teams and played for the second 11 as well.
You didn't play for any club since leaving school? Didn't
After
continue
school,
cricketing?
I did for a short while played for the Daily News Trophy for Saracens.
Okay, Saracens.
Yeah.
Okay. So, after finishing your studies at Kiri College, did you pursue higher studies? Or?
Yes, I did my A levels at the Pembroke Academy, as it was then known. Yeah. While I was doing that and just completed my A levels, I had the opportunity of joining Associated Yuasa Batteries Lanka Limited. That's a subsidiary.
So you straight from school you went for
I
job?
did. Yes, I was fortunate that for having been selected as a management trainee.
Yuasa, that was a AMW company.
Yeah, that's right. It was a subsidiary of AMW and a joint venture of Yuasa Battery Company of Japan.
Were they manufacturing batteries or did they import?
No, they were manufacturing. They've just started manufacturing, and the factory was located at Kalutara.
So the raw material, everything was brought from
most of it came from overseas. Yes,
manufactured here.
That's right.
Okay, that probably would have been the first company to have manufactured batteries.
Exactly, that was a pioneering effort of Sir Cyril, and as you know, he was one of the first industrialists to start most of the pioneering status of most of the industry, like cables, batteries, tires.
They were vehicle batteries?
We started with automotive vehicle batteries and subsequently switched on and branched off to motorcycle batteries as well.
Yeah. What about these other pen light battery things like that? They didn't get involved in that?
No, we didn't. No, I didn't. We didn't get involved in that.
So whilst so you joined the Yuasa Battery Company as management trainee, and what sort of training did you get?
Yeah, you see, I was lucky enough. Immediately after my joining them, I was selected to go to Japan for technical training. I spent there a little over 6 months, underwent training in all aspects of battery manufacture, engineering, production, quality control, even sales for up to a certain point. And on my return, after few months,
you were sent to Japan through the company?
Through the company, yes. I was sponsored by Yuasa Battery Company of Japan. On my return, I was appointed as factory manager, and from then onwards, it was sweet sailing. I mean, there were no return as such.
So there you acquired knowledge in different fields of the business, as you said, quality control.
Yes, I did, but initially it was focusing more on technical aspects. But on a subsequent occasion, I had the privilege of being offered a scholarship to Japan by the Association for Overseas Technical Scholarship of Japan, where I underwent a specialized course on statistical quality control.
That was also whilst you were at Yuasa?
That's right, whilst I was at Yuasa.
So twice you had training?
No, I had 2 more occasions to visit Japan on 2 other management programs, also sponsored by the OTS. One was on a management course titled cross-cultural management, and the other one, I led a group of Sri Lankan entrepreneurs to Japan to follow a program on titled Program for Sri Lankan Entrepreneurs.
Oh, really? Ah, so that would have given you a lot of exposure.
It did. For that matter, it was during the presidency of President Premadasa, where he was focusing a lot on the garment industry. And we took 22 leading businessmen from the industry to have specialized exposure to the garment industry as well as general management in Japan.
So how long were you with
We were there for 3 weeks.
No, I mean your employment with UASA.
UASA I have been working for 15 years.
15 years.
Yes,
And after that?
After that, what I did was I was offered a very lucrative position at IWS Holdings, and I joined one of their subsidiaries and worked as their general manager.
How long were you there?
I was there only for 3 years. Whilst at that company, while working for them, I was also given the added responsibility of being the group admin manager, where I interacted with many 5 or 6 other companies, and that gave me the right exposure. But by then I was offered to be a member of the board of directors of UASA Batteries,
Okay.
so which I also accepted.
So whilst working at IWS, you also functioned as a director?
Yes, I did.
Of
UASA Bat company.
Okay. Now, Ranjit, I know I said in my introduction that we are going to be talking about the ceramic industry. Now, you are in that into
Yes,
that industry
that's
very much
right.
now.
That's right.
But tell me, I mean, how did you get involved in rather an uncommon industry like the ceramic industry? Because if you look at your background, since leaving school, you worked for a battery company, then you worked for another private sector company, and the work that you did totally different from ceramic.
Yes.
How did you get involved in the ceramic industry?
To be very honest, it was purely accidental.
Really?
You know, yes. In one occasion, I was in Germany to attend the Frankfurt Motor Show, and a good friend of mine, I don't mind mentioning the name, Mr. Dayasiri Varnakulasurya, wanted me to look up for some equipment known as SIC sheets. So when I was in Germany, I went to the trade directory and found a company who were able to supply this material. On my return, we clinched the order, and that's how the company I worked for got involved in the ceramic industry. But then I didn't last long with that company, because I thought time is right for me to branch on my own, and form this company, Ranmal International, and started exclusively supply of machinery and raw material for
Now, you said that this happened when you went to Germany.
That's right.
Now, I mean, are Germans authorities on sort of in this industry?
Yes, Germans are very strong in this field. Germans produced more of the best fine china. You know, famous names like Rosenthal, Hutzenreuther, those are German names. They are very good in that industry.
And they would have been in that, I mean, involved in that industry for many years.
Long before we ever thought of getting involved. Yes, Germans have been very strong in the porcelain industry.
So, do you mean to say that the raw material that is used for ceramic production, you find the raw material also in Germany, or do they get the raw material from somewhere else?
No, they have quality raw material, but what we lack here, we have a lot of raw material here, but those are not the value added ones, the cheaper ones like the clay, but actually the most value added ones, the expensive ones, has to be imported.
But where Germany is concerned, they had it there.
They have it.
That's one of their resources.
Exactly.
And we import from
Germany.
So, and when you were in Germany, only that you got established this contact.
That's right.
And then you came back to Sri Lanka.
Yes.
And you thought, now you should get involved in this
particular
industry,
yes,
which was sort of untapped at that point in time.
Exactly.
That was different.
I did enter this industry at the right time. That was in 1994, where I mean things were just opening up the industry, and I thought it's best for me to get into a new industry. And another reason why I got involved in the industry was most of the people who were involved in the ceramic industry, like Dayasiri, and there were others like Mr. Jayewardene, there were others like Mr. Jayewardene, there were a lot of people whom I knew them personally. So that helped me very much to get into the industry.
So how did you start? Now you got this contact, and you came here, and you contacted the manufacturers of ceramic ware products and asked them whether you could supply the raw materials. Is that
That's
what
right,
happened?
raw materials, and also mainly there was an inquiry from a very good friend of mine, Dr. Neville Fernando, for 3 large kilns. That was my single biggest business. At that time, it went on to little over £1.5 million.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate in clinching that order, and from then onwards, I have established myself, and a lot of other manufacturers agreed to work with me. That's where the beginnings.
But where the industry is concerned, you had gained some knowledge about the industry also. Apart from supplying,
Yes.
providing the raw material,
Yes.
you had fairly comprehensive knowledge about the industry. Am I right?
I did, because as you know, selling machinery is not easy. You have to learn the machine, you have to know your competition, you have to know the pricing structure, you have to know what are the advantages of the machine, all these. I spent a lot of time in England, in Stoke-on-Trent, learning the trade. Then also, after I started working with these companies, all of them offered me training in their respective factories in USA, in Germany, in Spain, in Italy, you name it, I was there.
So you have visited many countries.
Yes, many countries in this workup.
It's all in relation to the work that you are doing.
Exactly, all in relation, and I still visit these countries at least once or twice a year. I do, to upgrade the knowledge.
Ranjit, to the best of your knowledge, about how many companies are there in Sri Lanka dealing with ceramic products?
Yeah, there are four tile manufacturing factories owned by 2 groups, and there is another new plant which is making sanitary ware, and as well as porcelain tableware is concerned, we have 3 companies.
But just something that struck me, the ceramic industry, if I am not mistaken, there was some sort of government concern way back many decades ago.
That's right. Originally, ceramic industry, it was the Ceramic Corporation, way back in 1960s. Yes.
Yeah.
They were making the very simple product, ceramic ware.
Yeah.
Not porcelain.
Because that time I remember this Kantali Sugar Corporation.
That's time they started.
That's right. Then GODB, Galloe Development Board.
Exactly.
And this is another ceramic corporation. That's what I was trying to recall.
Yeah.
But what really happened? But they were manufacturing, they were producing, weren't they?
They were, but as time went on, when the new players came in, people knew that they were no more interested in the ceramics, but they wanted the porcelain ware. Ceramics Corporation was not making this porcelain ware, tableware. So I believe Ceramic Corporation had a natural death, and now the other companies like Noritake, Dankotua, Fernwood, they have taken over their place.
So that corporation is not in existence now.
They are in existence. They have some mines supplying raw materials for the industry, but as a producer, they are no more. No.
So the 3 main companies that you mentioned are?
The leader is Noritake, who has been there since 1975. Then second came Dankotua Porcelain, and Royal Fernwood Porcelain.
Royal Fernwood.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, but then there are the small.
Not in the tableware sector, not in the porcelain tableware. No. We have the small companies making stoneware products.
We are talking about 2 different
aspects of
fields of that porcelain
and ceramic ware.
But one is quite different from the other.
Exactly. They are quite different. Firing conditions, the raw materials.
Like what sort of raw material is used for ceramic, and what sort of raw material is used for?
Basically, the most common material is the ball clay and kaolin and things like that. But there are certain additives what they use, like to improve the opacity, improve the whiteness. So porcelain ware is fired at a different temperature. Ceramic ware does not need that kind of temperatures. Some are double fired. So lot of different technicalities are involved, and the key to making a good product like good porcelain ware. Now Noritake is making, they have gone up. They are even making the bone china.
Yes.
So bone china is, I think that's about the.
And they're very much an export-oriented company.
Very much export-oriented. Very much, I would say. Yes, that's a niche market, but nevertheless, they make a good amount of bone china.
So, aren't there any type of, where the raw material is concerned, don't we have anything that can be used in the production of?
We have now. See, for that matter, the ball clay is being used, and the kaolin, local kaolin up to a certain extent. Then they use the local feldspar, local quartz, or to silica. All those can be used, but not in moderation. They have to use the imported raw material as well into this mix to make a quality product.
Now we import certain raw material.
Yes.
Likewise, since we also have some raw material which we are using for this product,
Right.
can't we think of exporting what we have?
Yes, you see, time along, we have been exporting some of our raw materials, but government have been very critical about it. They've done the right thing. They've always asked us to add value to the product what we export.
Quite, yeah.
So, in that context, in some instances, the government has clamped down on exports of basic virgin raw materials. Right.
No, value addition is a much talked about
I'm
subject
sure.
these days.
Of course.
Ranjit, for your information, you know this UOL as a university.
Right.
The whole university is based on this value
Value
addition
concept.
concept, and
Right.
it's about time that we gave a lot of sort of thought and attention
True.
to this particular subject. Now, if you look at the ceramic products that we have in Sri Lanka, what are the main sort of products, if you were to name?
You see, we have basically we have two major sectors now. See, in the tile industry, we have the ceramic tile and the more sophisticated porcelain tile.
Okay.
Of the 4 factories, only one factory is, or only one group is making the porcelain tile, which I think sooner or later the other company would also follow. The porcelain tile has certain distinct advantages, especially when it comes to hardness, and also they call it the porosity,
Right.
absorption. Yeah, so more and more people are going into porcelain tiles.
Porcelain, yeah.
Ceramic tiles, once the glaze goes off, I mean, that's the end of the tile.
That's it. Yeah. Ranjit, we are going to take a short break,
Yep.
but we'll be right back soon after this break, so please stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Ayubowan Sri Lanka, and my guest this morning is Mr. Ranjit Jayewardene, the Managing Director of Ranmal International Private Limited. Ranjit, we talked about the ceramic products. Now, if you were to mention about the porcelain products, what are the main porcelain products that you can think of, which we produce here?
Yes, porcelain also, as I said, we have the certain factory making porcelain tiles. Apart from that, the almost all the companies who are making tableware are making porcelain tableware now, with the exception of Noritake. They do the porcelain as well as the other forms of China, like bone china. But all other companies are making quality porcelain ware.
Yeah. Ranjit, if you take now for an example, the porcelain products produced here, manufactured here, they are of international standard. They are of very high quality, and we export them. And sometimes you go to other countries and you find, made in Sri Lanka.
Right.
But despite that, we still seem to import similar products from other parts of the world. Now, personally, I think if we have a product that cannot be matched, or that can be matched to any foreign product, why should we import?
You see, what you see in the market there is cheap products from countries like China. They also say that most of the products which are of second or third quality are being sent here. But as you quite rightly said, our products manufactured by any of these companies are world class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, some foreign tourists, who come here. I know how much they admire and how much money is spent in buying our, for an example, Noritake,
Quite
Luck
right.
Lane,
Quite
Royal
right.
Font. All these products are of very high quality and very high standard. And we can be very proud that we are in a position to produce internationally renowned, internationally recognized products.
Yes, now quite rightly, even the leading department stores in the world like Macy's, Debenhams, you go anywhere,
Yeah.
so United States, Australia, Germany, anywhere, you find our products on their shelves.
Yeah.
And this is one product that we can be really proud of. Of course, they are complaining about the production cost, high cost of gas and things like that. But apart from that, product, if you really think the quality and the design, ours is, I must say, world class.
Tell me, in all honesty, the quality of the ceramic and the porcelain products that we produce here, are equally good as any other product that is manufactured in other countries
Yes.
like Germany, for an example?
Yes.
In terms of quality.
Yes,
I
I'm
mean,
sure. Yeah, you see, this is in terms of quality, and I would say, to put in a nutshell, it is value for money. Yeah, you get what you pay. I mean, it's really world class, and it's a pity that we have not been able to break into the export or the world market. Of course, we have other constraints, but apart from that, I would very strongly endorse what you say, that we do have a quality product.
now, what percentage of our produce is exported?
In the tableware sector, I believe more than 50% of our products are being exported, and when it comes to bone china, even more than that. But in the tile industry, as you know, with the end of the so-called war, thanks to His Excellency the President, Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa, we have had a tremendous boost, tremendous increase in the demand for tiles in Sri Lanka. Yeah, so a lot of factories are expanding their production capacities, and therefore the export figures have really come down. They are not exporting so much of tiles as they used to. Now I believe about 20 to 30% are exported. The rest is consumed locally. Yeah.
Now, there is a big demand for that in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think after, as you very rightly said, you know, with the end of the war, a lot of development work
Quite right.
has been taken place in the country.
Yeah.
And a lot of construction work
Exactly.
is going on.
Quite right.
So, and at this point in time, I understand, Ranjit, there's a shortage of rooms, and many companies are contemplating putting up new hotels.
Yep.
Now, when all these things happen, naturally there is a great demand for the supply of ceramic and porcelain products.
Yes, quite right. There is a demand, and as I said, now the demand has increased, and the more and more need for upmarket tiles, like in the wall tiles, people are going for third firing tiles. Then in the floor tiles, they are going in for porcelain tiles, or even tiles which are a little sophisticated. So the market is there, and quite rightly, the factories have also geared themselves up to expand their production.
Now, the government is also giving their fullest support
True.
for this kind of industries. In terms of foreign exchange, am I right in assuming that we are getting a fair amount of foreign exchange through exports of these products?
Yes, we do, but when you take the export figures of the world, we are only, we are less than maybe 1% our export values. We are non-significant, but nevertheless, from what it was today, we can be proudly say that our tiles are accepted world over, and we are exporting whatever is possible. We don't want to starve the local market. So these guys are doing the right thing by expanding.
And some of our products, I understand, they even give a 10-year guarantee sort of thing.
Yeah, for a good product, 10 years is not a big life. I mean, we can always do that.
Yeah.
Make a good product.
And that's quite a long period, you know.
Quite right.
Normally you get 1 year, maximum 2 years. But to give that kind of guarantee, so that speaks for the quality.
Exactly.
And that speaks for the product, you know.
Yeah.
So, and that's something. Now when we export these items, Ranjit, just as much as we give that guarantee here, do we give some sort of a guarantee to the
Of
foreign
course, yes.
users also?
Yes, it's not easy to clinch an export order. As I know, when it comes to tiles, apart from the quality, they insist on this color variations, because the first, second, third, and the 10th order also has to have the same tonality. So that's a very important aspect in the tile. So therefore, our guys they are really they'll be very careful in producing tiles for export, and they are doing it right.
Yeah. You mentioned color variations. That's interesting. Now, I mean, are there any sort of countries where they are sort of keen on certain colors?
Yeah, I remember there was a certain tile manufacturer who exported tiles to Singapore, and from what I heard from them, Singapore, the contractor was very critical. He was very strict when it came to color, because they wanted the entire exact shade, not even one shade dark or lighter.
Yeah.
And these people had a time in producing or matching up to that standards.
It's amazing, no?
Amazing, yes, of course, yes.
Ranjit, we are going to take a short break again.
Yep.
And we'll be right back soon after these messages from our station. Welcome back. Ranjit, now I said in my introduction that you are the president of Sri Lanka Italy Business Council.
Yeah.
Okay. What's this council? I mean, who are the other members here?
You see, just to give you a background of the council, Sri Lanka Italy Business Council was inaugurated in 1998, and we are one of the business councils. There are 20 such councils affiliated to the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce. So we are only one of them, and I've been the president for the last 2 years. The patron, as usual, is His Excellency the Ambassador for Italy in Sri Lanka, and we have 2 vice presidents. One is Ms. Daya Ratnayaka, the Managing Director of Afro-Asia Design and Tiles, and Ms. Tanya Polonovita, the Managing Director of Hellman Logistics. These 2 act as my deputies, and we have a council comprising of 8 member companies. That's the organized structure.
Tell me, I mean, what were the main reasons behind in setting up a council like this?
At the time of the setting up of the business council, as the key thought was that the need for an organization to promote the trade, services, tourism between Sri Lanka and Italy. That was the prime factor, and also the council was needed to act as a responsible body, also as a spokesman for the Sri Lankan Italy business. So this we do in a very small scale. Yes.
By any chance, do we export any of our products to Italy?
Yes, you see, business has been good, and for that matter, Sri Lanka and Italy business, I must say, is one of the countries where the balance of trade is in Sri Lanka's favor. In 1998, the total trade was 686 million, where the balance of trade was 169 million in Sri Lanka's favor. In 2009, I believe we had 219 million US dollars in Sri Lanka's favor.
It's rather unusual. Normally it's the other way around.
Unusual.
That's why they always talk about this fairness of that. It's not a level playing field.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Are there any sort of exchange programs between the 2 countries?
We do have a lot of exchange programs. In this aspect, I must say the Italian embassy in Sri Lanka have been very cooperative. We have cultural exchanges, we have business exchanges. We are even having to see, there's a very ambitious program to see whether we could focus, whether we should showcase the Italian universities here in Sri Lanka, because Italy has a lot to offer when it comes to education, especially in certain specialized fields such as architecture. So we are trying to see whether we could promote the Italian universities here for our students. Then of course arts and culture and things like that we do promote, and I must always say the Dr. Jaluka Rubagoti, the Deputy Head of Mission of the Embassy, have been most helpful in promoting these programs.
Now you are a regular visitor to Italy. Do you find that a lot of Sri Lankans studying in the universities there by any chance?
Unfortunately, when it comes to university students, we don't have large numbers. Of course, employment, yes, but this is what we are trying to do, because as you know, smaller countries like Bangladesh or Malaysia, they are promoting their universities, so why not Italy? I mean, when they have a rich culture and a rich education, I'm sure we'll have good scope in that field.
Now, apart from your involvement as president of the Sri Lanka Italy Business Council, you are also the vice president of Japan Sri Lanka Technical and Cultural Association. Tell us about that.
Yes, Japan Sri Lanka Technical and Cultural Association, which is very commonly known as JASTECA, is a voluntary organization consisting of returned trainees. It's an alumni of AOTS, established 26 years ago. We have over 3,000 returned trainees who have been trained in Japan on various aspects of management.
So they were sent to Japan for training through this organization?
Exactly, and they were fully funded. Some programs were 100% funded by the Japanese government. Some the participants has to pay about 20 or 25%, but nevertheless these are very valuable programs, as I said, covering various aspects of management.
As a matter of interest, how were these trainees selected to go to send on a training?
Yes, we generally, when there is an opportunity, we advertise in the newspapers,
Okay.
and there's a interview, and when they're selected, yes.
And those who are
Deserving,
suitable enough to follow the course are sent. What's the duration like generally?
Depends on the program. Some now when I went to Japan, it was technical training. I was there for 6 months. The subsequent program have been 6 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks, depending on the program.
So all expenses are borne by Justica?
Most of the expenses have been borne by the AOT. Yes. Most of the expenses. Food, lodging, you name it, everything.
And the training is on different subjects?
Yes, we
such
have
as
quality control, sales management, office management, factory management, top management, middle-level management. Now, right now, we have 32 people in Japan undergoing a specialized program for Sri Lankan entrepreneurs. Normally, last year, I think we have sent about 250 people.
Oh, really?
Yes. And the current president is Mr. Mahinda Sarnapala. And the gentleman in charge of this training program is Daya Sabir Singh and Lali Alvis. They are doing a very, very good job, I should say. It's a silent, I mean, people don't know that how much, when we send 350 people to Japan on training per year, that's an asset to a country.
Yeah. And what's the medium of education?
English.
English. So there is no language barrier.
No, absolutely not.
But Japanese is not a difficult language to learn. I find that people who spend just few months in Japan, they come back and speak Japanese quite fluently.
Yes, because the Japanese and the Sri Lankan, the Sinhala has something in common.
Right.
Very much in common.
Yeah. And they use these chopsticks, no? That's something that I could never get used to. Now, in addition to these two, you know, the Italian contact and your association with Japan, you are also involved in the Director of Neurosurgery Development Foundation. Now, what I'm confused about is, now being a business-oriented person like yourself, how did you get involved in neurosurgery development? And before that, tell me, what's this foundation?
Yeah, the Neurosurgery Development Foundation was founded by Dr. Sunil Pereira, the famous neurosurgeon.
Yes.
Way back in 1980s, when he was stationed in the Kandy Hospital.